Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Big news for this one. Big news for this one. I didn't expect to see a certain story that we're going to discuss in today's video. Number 1 of 2, of course. You're going to be getting the video later on tonight, so make sure you guys are here and your eyes are peeled and you are ready in anticipation for video number 2 that comes later tonight as we see what happens from now up until later on. So make sure you guys are here for that one. Let's get cracking. Cracking like we're opening all sorts of eggs here, because it's story after story after story after story, and now things are coming into fruition. We've got the latest on what we discussed yesterday in relation to Caicedo. Caicedo spoke, and I'll leave a link for that video of last night right here if you haven't seen it already. Caicedo doing an interview, I believe it was over in Ecuador, or was with an Ecuadorian presenter, and she was asking him all sorts of questions, spoke about Chelsea. He spoke and he said he can't say no to Chelsea. So he's done all of that, which means that it's clear he wants to move. Absolutely fundamentally, he wants to move. But what is going on between the clubs? We know Fabrizio's told us direct club-to-club contacts are on. It's happening. Negotiations are underway. But what is happening? Well, Felix Johnston has provided us with an update. And much like I said in yesterday's video, where I speak about what I think it's going to take to get this deal over the line, even if it means Chelsea paying over what they would like to pay, but in installments and in a structure where it suits them to pay less over a long period of time, that is what I think would end up happening. Felix Johnston's provided us with an update where I think I might be onto something. So, let's get into it. Here it is. Chelsea and Brighton are locked in verbal negotiations for Caicedo. Chelsea have verbally offered £85 million in 4 instalments, but Brighton want £85 million all upfront or £100 million for 4 instalments. Chelsea sources, however, still extremely confident and negotiations continue. There we are. So, think of it this way. What would you rather do? Would you rather pay £85 million upfront? For some, that might sound fantastic. Or would you pay an extra £15 million, but that unlocks the ability for you to pay £25 million each year over 4 years? When you think about it, financially, yes, it's 15 million more, but having to spread that across that length of time could financially be much better for Chelsea than having to pay 85 million up front right now, for 2 reasons. One, it balances the books better in terms of spending over a long period of time. And 2, it does leave a budget for each transfer window that we come across over the next maybe 2-3 years, where yes, we're paying 25 million each year, but that's 25 million out of the yearly budget that you can put to other players. And then the budget for the next season, 25 million aside, obviously for Caicedo, and it allows you to spread things nicely. So this is why I'm confident a deal will be done, because if worse comes to worse, I think we could pay 100 million for instalments. Best scenario, we could maybe pay 90 over 4 instalments. 95. Come to an agreement that's more than 85 million, but over instalments where Brighton will be forced to say yes and accept because no one else is coming in for Caicedo, and I think they'd rather have the money. So let me know what you think down below. This is why I reckon next few days, I reckon we're going to get a here we go. I think we're on the brink. It's just a matter of details, and I think once we resolve this, the player is ours. So let me know what you think down below in terms of this negotiation. Now let's get cracking into this news that I didn't think we'd see. I did not think we'd see, but boy, I wouldn't be against this at all. I really wouldn't. And what is it? Man, it looks like we finally found our striker. What do you mean we found our striker? We got Jackson. We got Broja. Well, yeah, we need a number 1 striker though, don't we? Is it going to be Martinez? Is it going to be Vlahovic? Is it going to be Harry Kane? I wish, but very unlikely. No. Who's it going to be? This guy. Exclusive from Felix Johnston. Paul Winstanley is trying to push a plan and reach a consensus with other directors to move for Ivan Toney in January. Sources close to the player confirmed that Winstanley has been speaking to Toney's camp since May. It's his direct plan and Toney would be open to a move. Ivan Toney. Now, why is this tasty? Why is this tasty? This is tasty for a couple of reasons. One, his ability and what he can actually do, he's proven in the Premier League, is class as far as I'm concerned. He wouldn't have to move. He only works at Brentford. Brentford's down the road from Chelsea. It's not far. So he doesn't have to, change his life about. He makes an upgrade. On top of that, what he can bring on the football pitch as a striker, I feel like would be the level that we're looking for, but without the pressure. I think people would look at Ivan Toney and they don't look at him as, oh no, you absolutely have to get 35 goals a season. Do you know what I mean? But he's a player where people respect his quality. And I feel like he has the attributes to do well in a Chelsea shirt. Now, the other reason is a reason that I just think fits. What is it? Ivan Toney coming to Chelsea. Ivan Toney's hated already, right? Let's have it right. People look at Ivan Toney and go, oh yeah, no, that guy with the betting scandal, and he's a hothead, he's a bad guy. Oh mate, you'll fit right in at Chelsea because we're hated already. So can you imagine just having a profile of Ivan Toney at Chelsea? I think everyone would just be like, oh man, I hate that club. Love it. I love when everyone hates us. It's great. On top of that, this move is actually a stroke of genius because Brentford, I don't think, would be holding up for so much money. They're a club that I think you can just give them a decent fee and they'll accept it. Plus, right now, he's not playing because of his suspension. He's suspended until January, if I'm not mistaken. So making a move in January is actually not a bad shout. As long as he stays fit, it would work pretty nicely. And I feel like the scandal that he's been in the middle of, obviously betting and whatnot, look, as long as he can control his I hope it's not an addiction, I'll be honest. But as long as we can, try and get a deal done, and he can control himself in terms of that aspect and get any help that he does genuinely need, I hope he doesn't need any, then I think the striker in and of itself can be a big success at the club. Us trying to do a deal like this right now for an Ivan Toney in January works out pretty well for us. Why? Because it gives us time without European football to trial and test Nicholas Jackson and Armando Broja, who is getting fit again and he's training. So we'll be all right with those two up until January. We've only got to play Premier League football. FA Cup wouldn't even start until December. November? December. But anyway. Yeah. Third round. We come in the third round. So there's that. The only other competition is second round League Cup football. I know because we finished 12th, we have to play the second round. I mean, that hurts, right? We're probably going to have to play, I don't know, who's a very low League 2 side? We're going to have to play one of those sides because that's the second round. So, well, imagine we lost that. I doubt it. We're definitely winning. But it's a fixture that's on the calendar, but that's all we have. We don't have Champions League. We ain't got European football. We've got nothing. So we've got the time. We've got the game spread nicely. And I feel like with Jackson and Broja, we've got enough up until January. Then we can bring Ivan Toney in, and I think that would be great. I honestly think that would be great. Now, there's more information in regards to Ivan Toney from Felix Johnson. So here it is. Let me show you now. Paul Winstanley is trying to convince the rest of the hierarchy, but the elite striker list for this summer still remains at the three names revealed. Vlahovic is liked by a different director and Pochettino directly. Lautaro interest cooled after Inter's asking price and bids for Lukaku. Chelsea think Inter have overvalued their players and undervalued Chelsea players. I'm told strong words were had. Also, random, but Raheem Sterling has an offer from Saudi Arabia but is not expected to move at this point. And yes, that's very, very, very unlikely to happen. Sterling's not going anywhere. Now, Paul Winstanley, I think, is onto something here. And fair play to him and Lawrence Stewart so far, because the work that they've been doing has just been, so far, second to none. Great. Absolutely great. In terms of the outgoings, the incomings, the way that we're doing, who we're targeting, I like it. Especially who we're beginning to target. I think it's beginning to make sense. So, yeah, Paul Winstanley, I think, is onto something. Personally, I would love to see it. I would love to see Paul Winstanley. Well, get Ivan Toney in order for him to get his way. So, let me know your thoughts on Ivan Toney. Do you think he would work at Chelsea? Do you think he won't? Let me know your reasons down below. Much appreciated. Now, let's get cracking into One player that we've already heard about, one player that I think everyone is after in relation to the Chelsea fan base, not in terms of the clubs. But we have an exclusive here from Felix Johnston, and we've got more from Julien Laurens as well. Let's get into it. Exclusive. Chelsea asked Lyon the conditions of the Rayan Cherki deal over the weekend and were quoted around 40 million euros. Chelsea are now speaking with his agent to verbally agree a contract before submitting an offer. Cherki top of number 10 list after seriously impressing at Euros. There is also this point. Chelsea still want Matheus França in addition to Cherki at this point. It's slightly complicated, but the França situation is a bit of a waiting game. Various different parties are owed different portions of França's sell-on clause, so work is being done on Flamengo's end to clarify all the percentages and whether they can recoup some of it. It's necessary either way to understand full conditions of the deal, but also could allow asking price to drop, which is why Chelsea are happy to wait. Dybala was recommended by Poch, but scouts and directors think his injury record is not ideal, not an active target as said previously. Italian agents offered Chiesa to Chelsea, and Chelsea asked Poch for his thoughts, but also not being pursued as of now. That's a mad one. Chiesa. Interesting. We've not really seen much of Chiesa except for like 2-3 seasons ago when he was popping and everyone was like, oh my god, Chiesa. Remember him playing for Italy as well. That was unbelievable. That would be a great acquisition, by the way. Chiesa at Chelsea. That would be mad. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be a massive deal, right? In terms of Dybala, yes, I understand the injury record's not great, but this is why I'm saying in order for benefit to risk ratio, 10 million is nothing. Unless if the directors genuinely think it's just a waste of money. But I think that would be a decent fee to pay for someone where it's a little risky and you're not actually losing much. You might actually get a top player there, but whether Dybala wants to move, whether it's possible, yeah, maybe he wants to stay at Roma. Anyway, we'll see. But in terms of Cherki, I'm telling you, this is why I'm pretty sure we're going to get a deal. We're going to get a deal. I'm starting to think it's very, very likely Cherki will end up becoming a Chelsea player. And boy, will I be happy. Boy, will I be happy. Now, Julien Laurens has given us an update. He gave us an update yesterday. He's given us another one today. Here it is. Chelsea like Rayan Cherki. Rayan Cherki likes Chelsea. And Lyon, like with Malo Gusto in January, could open the door. This is where Chelsea are set to bid for Cherki. And we'll see what Lyon's response will be. If we can agree personal terms and all of that, get a bid in, I think they're going to accept. So, I'm looking forward to this one. Let's see how this one goes down. We'll let time play out and we'll see. Pulisic has left. He landed in Milan. We'll mention him later. But could be a direct replacement in for Pulisic. Also, on top of that, Mason Mount having left. Havertz having left. And Nkunku's at the club. We get Cherki in. We get either Chiesa or Dybala in. Mate, I think we've instantly made upgrades. Instantly. So, let's see. Now, talking about someone that is linked with a possible move away, and nothing's happened as of yet, let's get into the latest on Galadog. Kidding. Conor Gallagher. Here it is. Spurs have Conor Gallagher in their sights. Mauricio Pochettino is an admirer of Gallagher, and a deal will come down to whether or not he is deemed as can be sold this summer. He could cost up to 50 million. I'm going to be honest. If someone comes in with 50 million for Gallagher, please accept it immediately. Accept it. Now, I understand. Look, and I've made this point before, even though genuinely I'm not feeling it. But I think it's fair that Poch has a chance to see Gallagher in person, right? And see what Gallagher can offer. That's fair, right? In terms of his footballing ability, man, I just struggle to process whether he's actually as agile and as dynamic as he needs to be at Chelsea. People reference his Crystal Palace days. Do you understand how much of a counter-attacking side Crystal Palace were when Conor Gallagher was there? And how much space there actually was to exploit playing for Crystal Palace, which he wasn't going to find at Chelsea, and he will continue to not find at Chelsea. You're going to have to work in very, very tight spaces at Chelsea, like he's already had to try and do, and he's just not done good enough as far as I'm concerned. This is where I don't look at, what system is he fitting in and whatnot, because Chelsea's Chelsea. The pressure's the pressure. It's on, No matter what system we're playing, teams are going to want to try and clamp down on us ASAP. close down those spaces, make it hard for us, make it difficult, whether they play offensively and we're having to sit back, or whether we're playing offensively and they're having to contain and make life very hard for us. Conor Gallagher is someone that has to adapt to being able to operate in those tight spaces, and I think he takes a little too long. I admire his running, I admire his physical attributes, fantastic. His physicality is great, right? How much he's willing to offer and give is great. But genuinely, just what can he do on the ball in a top club like Chelsea that's operating at what's meant to be an elite level? My personal opinion, I just don't think he's cut out for it. But Poch does need to see him in the flesh. So, look, as I've said, this is why I'm saying if a team comes in with 50 mil, I'm accepting. But if they don't, let's see what Poch can do. Let's see. Whether the club will sell, unsure at this moment. We'll have a look and we'll wait and see what happens. But, as I've said, if a bid comes in of that magnitude, we accept it. And if it doesn't, then we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Gallagher under Poch would be good? Or not? Do you agree or disagree with me? Let me know down below. Do you think Poch can get something out of him? And if you do, what is it? Let me know. Now, Pulisic has arrived in Milan and he looks very, 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 very happy. Very happy. Let's get to it. Here it is. I'm very happy to be here. I'm excited to start with this historic club. Christian Pulisic has arrived in Milan ahead of his €22 million move to AC Milan from Chelsea. Gave an interview as he was arriving at the airport, and he looks buzzing, honestly. Very, very, very happy. And good luck, Pulisic. It's a shame it didn't work out. We'll never forget lockdown Pulisic. Lockdown Pulisic was mad. When everyone was stuck away in their homes for all sorts of reasons, and Pulisic was having to shine when there was no fans at the ground. That was, 4 or 5 months of genuine peak Pulisic. And that was fantastic. But apart from that, we didn't really get much. So I honestly wish him the best. I think Serie A is going to suit him very well. I think, his fellow ex-teammates, now his new teammates again, that he's going to find at AC Milan are going to help him along the journey. And I hope he smashes it over in AC Milan. Good luck to Christian Pulisic. Thank you for everything. And Captain America, I hope he smashes Italy. So, let's move. Let me know your thoughts on Pulisic leaving to AC Milan. Before we wrap up, there's a couple of more things, starting off with Levi Colwill. Colwell's not stalling at all. A meeting has already been scheduled with Poch and his agents have been directly told to expect a contract offer to be tabled soon. Liverpool interest incredibly strong, as exclusively revealed, but it's in Chelsea and Levi's court right now. Personally, I think Levi Colwill will be given assurances. I think he'll accept the contract. And I think Poch will utilise him. That's my honest prediction. And we'll see what happens. Because, look, he's rated very, very highly. And I admire the talent that he has. I just hope he's not getting too big for his boots in his head. And I hope, the noise isn't... The hype isn't getting into his head and starting to get him to think, oh, no, I am the guy. I hope that's not the case. Stay humble. Remember where you are. Remember your level. Think about your growth. Think about your development. Use your attributes and what you can do and strive to get better each day. That's the best advice that I can possibly give at that age. Because as I've said before, people and players of that age think they know everything. They don't. That's just the reality of life. You don't. Not at that age. You always have more to learn and more to do and things to get better at. So it doesn't stop here. It's only the beginning. So I hope he understands that. And if he does, then I think he's going to smash it. Fingers crossed he absolutely does well under Poch at Chelsea. And let's wait and see what happens. So Levi Colwill, as I said, this noise from Liverpool, yes, they're interested, but I don't think they're going to get anywhere. I think a deal between Chelsea and Levi Colwill will be done. And we'll see how it all goes from there. Now, talking about another player that I didn't think we'd expect to see, check this out. This has actually shocked me. Well, half shocked me, half not shocked me. But here it is. Pochettino has directly told Ian Maatsen that he will get a proper chance in pre-season with game time. Chelsea still trying to offload Cucurella. Being discussed with Juventus, who have long-standing interest. Interest also from Newcastle and Atletico Madrid. Nothing concrete yet. So we are trying to get rid of Cucurella. Which would mean that if we do that, the left-back options are going to be Chilwell and Ian Maatsen, as well as Lewis Hall. But Lewis Hall, yes, has played left back, but technically shouldn't be playing left back, even though he can do it. He is a midfielder by trade. So yeah, there's that. Ian Maatsen though is a left back. So yeah, is he going to be Chilwell's backup? Maybe if he impresses in pre-season. I'm not quite sure what we're trying to do here. If we were to offload Cucurella, would we need a left back? say Ian Maatsen doesn't impress as much as people might think and he goes off on loan or something. Who we got? Chilwell. Unless we keep Cucurella. But if we're trying to get rid of him, I'm not so sure he'd want to stay. Let me know your thoughts on this dynamic right now. I know many people wouldn't mind seeing Cucurella go. Personally, I would like to see him given one chance under Pochettino, because Cucurella has his flaws, for sure. But I can't help that what we saw for Brighton, right, and what we saw, and even what we saw at his first few games for Chelsea, where he was buzzing with confidence before everything collapsed, is an indicator of what he can actually do. And under Poch, I think Poch is able to get that out of him. So I wouldn't mind seeing him stick around. But if you were to go for decent money, I wouldn't be against that either. Because at the end of the day, risk and benefit, you gotta assess the risk. And if we were to get a Cucurella like last season, and we don't sell him for a good amount of money, he ends up playing like he did last season, we would have lost out on a good deal. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in relation to Cucurella, and we'll see how this one goes. And Ian Maatsen as well. Do you expect high things and top things from Ian Maatsen? More in terms of what's to be expected in terms of the outgoings. Here it is. Chelsea want 4 players out before July 17th. Lukaku, Ziyech, Aubameyang and Hudson-Odoi, whose agents are working on some solutions in Italy. I expect this to happen very soon. All 4 of them. Lukaku, we already know. Ziyech, I don't know what's going on unless he does go to Saudi, but it doesn't look like he is. Aubameyang, maybe Saudi. And Hudson-Odoi, God knows as well. But as I've said, and I agree here, I want all those 4 to be gone sooner rather than later, respectfully, except for Lukaku, because we need to offload. And yeah, all of these guys are names that have to be offloaded. So let me know your thoughts on all of those as well. Starboy. When I say Starboy, you think of one player who's no longer at the club. That shall not be named, because we've promised that on this channel now. We've got a new Starboy, and Chelsea have made it perfectly clear. Here it is. Starboy, it's a 90s thing. And yes, it's Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez is now going to be considered as the new Starboy. As of today, Starboy should be affiliated to Enzo Fernandez, not the guy that shall not be named, as he's now left. So, our new Starboy is Enzo. Anyway, we move. That's just a little bit of banter and humour. Now let's get to more serious matters before we end the video. The latest on Roman Abramovich. Yes, that's a name you didn't think I would say. I'm very glad to say it because we miss Roman, right? And I hope he's well, and I hope he's all good. But here's the latest on Roman. What's going on with Roman nowadays? Here it is. Roman Abramovich's lawyers claim the Russian has been an upstanding citizen and is being victimized due to his Chelsea ownership. That was an article over in the Telegraph. The Russian billionaire is bidding to have his EU sanctions overturned by the European Courts of Justice. Mate, Roman, brother, it won't, right? I don't think you're winning this one. I hope you do. If you do, mate, you're a legend. You're already a legend. But if you do somehow beat the EU courts, I will be shocked because there's no way that they're actually going to lift anything. Now, I agree. If it wasn't for his Chelsea ownership, I genuinely don't think anyone would come near him. But because someone of his magnitude, who is Russian, had a club of like Chelsea Football Club, he was going to get clamped down left, right and centre, and he did. And yeah, I wish him the best. I wish him the best of luck. Roman, go out there and you do you, mate. You do you, and I hope you're well. We miss you. Yeah, and when the day comes, because the day will come, whether they like it or not, the day will come. Even if it means we're going to have to get you in on a wheelchair. We will have you back at Stamford Bridge one day and we will give you a proper goodbye because it's deserved. No one can stop that. No one. The day will come. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, maybe not next month, maybe not in 5 years, maybe not in 10 years, maybe in 20 years, but the day will come where we will have Roman at the bridge again one last time. It will happen. It will. Even if we have to get him in a laundry basket, because we've done that before. Jose can give him a tip or two on how it's done. Before we wrap up, let's get to the latest on a certain striker. And I didn't expect to say this. This is mad. Check this out. Al Hilal have bid £25.5 million for Fulham striker Alexander Mitrovic, sources in Saudi Arabia have told Sky Sports News. Sources close to the player have told us Mitrovic wants to leave the Premier League for Saudi. Mitrovic wants the bag. Mitrovic, can you get on the phone to Lukaku and take him with you? He'd have to go far. It's in West London. But Mitrovic possibly on his way to Saudi. I didn't expect this. I thought Mitrovic would end up going to a top club, but he's after the bag. good luck. Good luck in Saudi, mate. There we are. Let me know your thoughts on Mitrovic to Saudi. I never thought I'd see that one. And Mitrovic was on a really good trajectory. He goes to Saudi. Yes, his bank account would be on a great trajectory, but that's about it. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see all of you later on for video number 2 of 2. So make sure you guys are here tonight. Much appreciated, and I will see all of you then. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you did enjoy this, and I will see all of you later on. Have a good one, people. In a bit. See you later. Take care, and peace.